Popcorn and Pictures podcast.
Welcome to another rousing, thrilling episode of Popcorn and Pictures with I, your host, Sam Karpinski, and your co-host, Jose Mendoza. Don't die, Jose. We just started the episode, okay? Don't die.
I'm not even sick. I'm just
Jose's
fake coughing over
okay.
here.
He's not dying. He's just having an asthma attack, apparently, which is something he has now. But he's okay. He'll live. So Jose,
Actually, apparently there's a cough happening around the Bay Area. Have you heard about this? I forgot the disease is called.
I
But
know there's a virus going around. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't think
yeah.
it's exclusive to the Bay Area.
Apparently there's reports of it being apparently there's reports of it happening in San Francisco, Napa, and Sonoma. But for the record, I am fake coughing. I'm just joking, and I just thought about that right now. But
In other words,
okay.
Jose is okay and has wasted you, the precious listener's time, for 30 whole seconds over this bit, pretending to be sick when he wasn't.
We're a minute in, and I'm just scaremongering.
This is basically that person who can't hold a cough in the theater. We all know them. We all know them. Yeah.
No, okay, that's enough. That's enough of that.
Anyway, getting back to business. Jose, you know what I could use right now?
What is that?
I could use me some orbits.
Good.
You know why? You know why?
Why is that?
Because I need to go back in time. I need to watch The Dark Knight opening weekend. I need to enjoy all the wonders of 2008 when our childhood heroes were still good people and not revealed to be scumbags. It was a more innocent time, a wonderful time, a good time. It was 2008. Now, I unfortunately don't have a bottle of Orbits to do so, but I do know that would work because I saw it in a movie called Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie.
There you go.
Which is a kind of, sequel to a running show called Nirvana, the band, the show, from Matt Johnson and Jay Carroll, Canadian filmmakers, and artists. You were the one who first alerted me to that show, along with other friends. You've been on the hype train for a while.
Yes, I have.
It's been a long time coming, this movie, for it to get made and to be released, and it's now out in the wild. And even though it's been pretty limited release, it's been getting great feedback from all corners, as far as I can tell. So, as the resident Nirvana, the band, the show expert and fan, what were your thoughts on the movie?
Well, I was going to say, you forgot to mention too that you and I and a couple other friends had the privilege of actually getting to meet Matt Johnson and Jay Carroll. In fact, we got a chance to hang out with them a little bit after a screening of Blackberry, which apparently was the film. I don't know if it was the most successful film, a Canadian film that year got released or of all time or whatever. But because of the success of Blackberry, Matt Johnson's last film, I believe the Canadian government was able to budget, or I guess provide a little bit more, offer more of a budget for Matt Johnson to make a film, his next film. And he saw an opportunity to make a, I guess, spin-off of his TV show. So what happened basically was that the show aired on Vice, Vice Canada. But what happened was that Vice went out of business, but they still had a contract that they're supposed to make a third season. So when Vice, I guess, got canceled or whatever the terminology is, they were kind of in a void.
There was
and didn't
nothing
really
wrong
know.
with Vice, to be clear. Canceled in the literal sense, right? It got
exactly.
failed.
Yeah, thank you for that. No, I'm not talking about like
business.
No, they didn't say the N-word. It just got canceled. I don't know the story behind there, but I did know that Matt Johnson and Jay Carroll found themselves kind of in a corner and didn't really know how they were going to release season 3. In fact, if you remember when we saw Blackberry, I asked them what the status was of season 3, and they said that they had it filmed, but they're going to turn into a movie. But then after the movie got released, or I guess like a little before the movie got released, I heard that season 3 is still going to happen, but at this point, it's just a matter of fact of how they're going to release it. So that's kind of the background of this film. Um, and the movie is based off a TV show that was once a web series, but as you and I both know, because I don't think you finished the series. However, I think the movie does work as its own
It's
identity. It doesn't
pretty.
really
Yeah,
need,
I
yeah, it
saw
doesn't need the
it.
TV show.
I saw it with a person who he had seen clips, but he had never seen the show or the web
Hmm.
series, and he loved it. So I think that's a testament. I know that with other people as well. So
Yeah.
definitely works as a standalone. It's really, yeah. I mean, it's honestly there's a point in the movie where they, you know, explicitly wink at the audience in the theater, and it is kind of an impressive thing that it got made, that type
Yeah.
of exists and got into the theaters, because it's very fun. I wouldn't say it's like the most creative movie I've ever seen, but it's
Hmm.
definitely unique enough to where you feel like, oh yeah, this is great that it made it to theatrical release, and
Interesting.
it's a great
I
crowd movie.
I would argue and say that it is one of the most creative films I've seen, but not in the sense that it's not like it's not like another Lord of the Rings, it's not like a world building story. It's the fact what I'm referring to the creativity, I'm referring to the um what this film actually is, which is a hybrid of mockumentary filmmaking, narrative filmmaking, and in a way documentary filmmaking as well. Because the characters know they're being filmed, which is where the mockumentary element comes in. There's like a narrative that's being told, and basically, essentially, what's happening is the band is trying to get a show at the Rivoli, which is a restaurant. But in the movie, more things happen where they end up time traveling to 2008, and it becomes like a parody of Back to the Future, although it's more than just a parody to Back to the Future. And then it's a documentary in the sense that they are getting real world reactions from people on the streets in order to kind of complement the comedy that they're trying to deliver with the film. And it's always at the expense of them. It's not like it's not them being a
They're not jerks at all
yeah,
to anybody who's being filmed
yeah,
candidly. Like
exactly.
it's just they're playing their character and they're filming people's reactions to the character. It's not,
Yeah,
yeah.
they're not being
And
malicious to
they're not
society.
even, yeah, they're not even as their characters, they're not doing anything trying to manipulate or be malicious with people. They're
No,
just get
yeah, like I
reactions.
said, it's at their expense.
Yeah.
It's never at the expense of the people on the streets. And I think that's where the movie shines a whole lot. You saw it recently than me because unfortunately I don't have a release date where I'm from. But I did catch an early screening in San Francisco, maybe what feels like 3 months ago now. So I know it's more fresh in your mind, but do you want to give like a rundown on what the summary was of the film?
No, I mean the show and the movie's whole premise revolves around these two roommates and childhood friends who are like wanting to be on stage at the Rivoli, which is like a fancy restaurant performance venue in Toronto, right? They're in Toronto.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
in Toronto. And they continually are trying to find ways to sneak on there, given that they don't, actually have any music to their name, let alone a band. So the movie is just basically starts as just another scheme to find a way to get on stage at the Rivoli. And one thing leads to another. And one of the characters accidentally builds a time travel uh,
Machine.
machine, yeah, time travel machine, with the help of a secret ingredient, orbits. The reference earlier. um, and they go back in time to 2008, and initially, they're trying to figure out how to get back, and then without going into too much spoilers, they do get back, but things have changed a little bit from where they're at. So it's the what I said, like the not the most creative movie, because they're like it's a time very much a lot of the film's plot and humor revolves around some of the time travel elements, and
Hmm.
it's stuff we've like seen before, trope
Yeah,
wise, but it's not like it's still like fresh. Like the things they use in it are fresh. Like the humor is fresh. It's not relying on the trope itself to provide the humor.
sure, sure.
Yeah,
I guess going back to nothing.
it's
Sorry, go ahead, please.
no, no. I was just gonna say, but to kind of put both, the film though is uh, I don't know if I would say surprisingly so, but I think a little bit more than I thought it would be. Very heartwarming at the
Oh
end
yeah,
of it. Yeah,
yeah. Ultimately, it's a good buddy movie, which we haven't seen in quite a bit, or like at least not from like the '90s, which was a big genre thing. Um, Again, going back to my, I think it's really creative. I'm not like trying to argue that it's not like, but what I guess what I'm trying to say is,
you
a lot of the
disagree
filmmaking
with
is very.
me. You hate my opinion.
You are wrong about this movie, even though I think we have the same rating.
We do.
But I had the besides getting early screening, I won't try to talk, unless you want me to go into it, but
Let go for it.
the Matt Johnson and Jay Carroll were present at my screening, so they did Q&A afterwards, and they were able to kind of give a little bit more of an insight on how they were able to get some shots. So without getting too much into spoilers, there was a scene involving a character who becomes famous, and he's performing at a concert, and it's a real concert. They're in a crowd, and this said character is on stage performing music. So you're wondering how they even managed to finance that scene. Were they able to get extras in, or how they get that done? Apparently, what they said was that Jay Carroll knew a band who was performing locally in Toronto, and then in between sets, they said, "Hey, we're making a movie. I need you guys to scream as loud as you can for the characters about to get on stage, pretend he's like the next Taylor Swift, and just go crazy." And they were able to coordinate that so effectively that they managed to get that into the movie. Another thing too is, again, without getting too into spoilers, and this is where all the excitement comes from, just like how they're able to catch these scenes. There's a scene where, again, I'll try to keep it vague, but there is an accident that happens, where someone gets hurt, and it becomes covered by local news stations, local news media, and in the real world, not in the movie, that was actually a real accident that happened at Drake's mansion during the Kendrick Lamar and Drake beef, where there was a drive-by and one of Drake's security guards got shot. So what Matt Johnson and Jerry Carroll do is they drive to Drake's mansion, get footage from that accident, and then manage to use that into their movie. So I think that's where the kind of like this guerrilla style filmmaking happens, where I wonder how much footage they actually got to make into the movie, and how they're able to create more of a, like an actual linear story narrative after out of this out of all this footage that they were able to catch. It takes so much coordination. It's just like very inspiring.
I agree. There's again, like it's a movie for people who can still see it in theaters.
Yeah,
Absolutely go to, because there's certain things that it's not like a epic movie per se, right? It's not like you mentioned like Lord of the Rings. It's not like
yeah,
a Star Wars movie. It's not nothing
no,
like that. But it's very much of one of those films, like to really appreciate it for all its glory, it needs to be seen in the theater, you know?
no, for sure, for
So
sure.
yeah.
Um, Although I will say there are some scenes in the movie too that makes you wonder how they were able to catch that. For sure. Again, you don't see like a Treebeard is not in the film, but there's there's scenes that involve climbing skyscrapers, or I guess towers, and
All
you
real,
wonder,
no doubt
yeah,
in my mind.
for sure, and you question the legality of all those scenes, like how were they able to do that? If they like broke some rules to get to the scenes that they need to film. It's just so fascinating to me. But beyond that too, it just works as a film by itself. It's incredibly funny. Um, I don't know what your theater experience was like. Was your theater full? My theater was full, but that's
It
because again,
was
it was an
it
early
was
screening.
it wasn't like full, but it was a good turnout. It wasn't
Okay.
like every seat was filled, but it wasn't far off, and that was a relatively late show. Now it was also at the Universal theater, so I mean that's typically busier anyway. Just random side note. As funny as the movie was, there was something funnier that happened during the screening of the film within the theater. Guy got up to go, either use the restroom presumably or get some food. He came back and he completely tripped and like face planted in the row right before he got to his seat, and that elicited a chuckle from the entire theater who saw it.
Okay, funny. Nice.
So that
Was
was
he
just,
okay?
oh yeah, he was fine. He got right
Okay.
back up. It was just
All
really,
right.
he had a bunch of he had like a keychain dingling down too, so it made quite a bit of noise as well.
Okay.
So
Okay, sure. I was gonna say, like, hopefully it wasn't like an old lady who just like fell down a
no,
flight of
yeah,
stairs and
no.
all you guys are pointing and laughing.
Well, nobody was pointing and laughing. It was just funny. It happening
Oh, for
as
sure.
the rest of the movie's going on. Anyway, so yeah, Nirvana, great comedy, well worth seeing in theaters. 9 of 10
Hmm.
for me. Believe 9 of 10 for you
Yeah,
as well. Uh,
100%.
it gets the official popcorn and pictures recommendation.
Oh, 100%. I am again. I don't have the opportunity to see it again, and I really want to see it again as soon as I can. I just don't have the chance to. I'm waiting for it to be available on video on demand, so I'm willing to pay like $20 to see it again. Um, show my friends, maybe my family.
I want a Criterion Collection
Honestly,
version of
yeah,
that.
fuck it. Excuse me. I know we try to not cuss in this episode on this podcast, but yeah, I would love a
Have
Criterion
to
box
bleep
set.
that out.
I would love a physical copy of this film. Um, I think I gave it a 10 out of 10 now I think of it actually. If I didn't, I think it deserves a 10. But again, I'm just so
You should give it
in
a 10. You so
I think
rarely do.
I am. I think I will. I'm just so invested in the show. I love this movie. I think it's a great spin-off. Again, and I think what works so well is that it just works as a movie. It works as this really weird movie that's a spin-off of a show that you can't even really watch anymore because it's not available on any networks, based off a web series that no one really saw. I've actually yet to see it myself either. It's just such a out there idea. I'm like surprised that, which they kind of acknowledge in the movie. Like I'm surprised that this movie exists and made its way to the
Yeah.
theater.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's
Exactly.
it's just so such a feat, and I love it. So I think I'm giving it a not a 9, but I think I'm giving it a 10. I think I'm gonna give
He's
it a 10.
raising it. He's raising the bar.
I think
Okay.
I've always given it a 10, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Uh, I don't know. Well,
I don't know
let's see.
either.
Let's do a real-time fact check.
Do it for
Well,
me. Yeah, I can't
Jose,
check. For the
Jose
listeners, I'm in a car right now. I'm actually not in front of a computer,
he's in a
so
car. He doesn't know what he's doing.
mm-mm.
Oh, my friend, another friend gave it a 10 of 10 as well. Actually, multiple did. Let's see. Oh, you did. You gave it a 10 of 10.
I thought so. I thought so.
Good for you. Good for you. Okay. Well, that was a fun opener.
Mhm.
Let's close the loop on a topic we've been discussing in
Yeah.
previous podcasts, and that's the Oscars race. So I finally got around to seeing Blue Moon and Train Dreams. Blue Moon, I don't want to spend too much time on, but
No.
it Ethan Hawke is great in it, but that's about it. It's not a movie that'll blow you away in any
No.
way, shape, or form. And it feels like an Oscar bait film.
Yeah. Yeah. I could give into that.
Yeah. So with that being said, another great performance, which I wouldn't mind did being also nominated for Best Actor, is Joel Edgerton in Train Dreams, which
Yeah.
I finally had the chance to get around and watch. It was the final Best Picture nominee I had yet to see, and it hit pretty hard. I don't
Yeah.
know how you felt about it, but what a simply beautiful movie, which I mean is kind
Mhm.
of the movie's thesis as well. I mean it follows this
Yeah.
guy who lives a pretty rather ordinary life, doesn't seemingly on the surface like really affect the world around
Mm-mm.
him that much, but kind of the movie's whole thesis is that no, he actually did. He was connected to more than you realize, and it's kind of just a meditation on people's impact, who don't necessarily aren't in the headlines, aren't
Hmm.
necessarily hailed as heroes, just everyday people just kind of going about their lives and keeping things running, and just living a simple life.
Yeah, just trying to get by, trying to find love, trying to be happy, trying
Yeah.
to provide for a family, try to raise a family. Um, one of our buddies on Letterboxd, I thought described it in a very poetic way, and I guess quick little summary, not much to summarize. It's about a man who lives in what, early 19th century, late 18th century.
Early 20th century.
Oh, sorry, that's what I meant. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah.
20th century.
Yeah.
My mistake. Yeah, early 1900s. I meant to say, but yeah, doesn't he starts off as a I guess what do you call him, railroad worker,
He's a
eventually,
logger. The
and then
the
turns to a
yeah.
logger. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, because
um
yeah. Starts out as somebody working on railroads, building railroads. Yeah.
yeah, then logger, he finds love, and that's pretty much it. He meets friends along the way, kind of. um but our buddy, going back to that, he says that it was pretty thematic what he said. If a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, doesn't make a sound. If a man lives a life but no one's around to see it, does he live a life? Yeah, he certainly does, right? But what he's trying to paint there is that, yeah, there's not much to this film. It's just kind of watching this guy day to day do his daily work. But us describing it this way sounds incredibly boring. But what it has going for it is like this beautiful filmmaking where, it's just very meditative. It's very handheld. It feels very improvised. Not a lot of, intense scenes, not a lot of intense dialogue. It's just very poetic. There's a lot of fantastic visuals too. What comes to mind is, it's not really a spoiler. I mean, it's not even a spoiler at all, but you see a deformed cow with two heads at the beginning, which I thought was interesting. Nothing else happens to that
The
cow, but
second best picture nominee with a animal with two heads.
what's the other one? You have to remind me.
The Secret Agent.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's right. I forgot about that. Such a forgettable movie. The There's a scene where, at the very beginning, you see boots nailed to a tree, and I thought that was just like a cool visual. But then it's revealed that, I guess, if you were a logger back in the days and you died on the job, a way to honor your death was to take your boots and nail it to a tree. Um, it's just kind of moments like that that are small and, again, simple, but resonated with me,
Yeah,
incredibly so. Yeah.
I agree. That's actually my letterbox background for the movie is still of the boots nailed
Hmm.
to the
Yeah.
tree. It yeah, I mean it's hard to really like articulate everything in the movie because it's very much like a feeling movie, right?
Yeah.
It's not like a complicated plot, it's not a complex plot. It's just very much just following this guy through through his life and just kind of ruminating on what his life means to the world
Hmm.
and to himself. So I'll just say there were a few moments where I kind of felt gut punched at
Yeah.
times
I agree.
with it. Um, just because I mean it follows him through his highs and his lows, and the lows get pretty low
Yeah.
at times. I think also like it's an intriguing look, with like that historical time because there's just subtle, things they show as time is
Yeah.
moving on, kind of seeing how the world changes around him, even as he, as a rather simple man, stays the same for the most
Hmm.
part.
Yeah.
Things
Absolutely.
like the visual at one part. I mean, he's a logger, right? So he's cutting down trees most of the film, and then you see at as he's older at a job site a chainsaw, like a
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
chainsaws for the first time, and they don't like linger on it. It's just it's there, and it's like, oh, so that
Yeah.
alone is already kind of changing his profession.
And he had no idea how to
significantly.
operate the chainsaw. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had no idea how to operate it. So,
I
having to
forgot about
find his
that.
way around it. Yeah. But then
Yeah.
also, you know, at the end of the film, spoilers be warned if it is a spoiler, he flies in a plane for the first time.
Mhm.
And the narrator kind of concludes like, oh, this is the first time he really felt connected to the greater world, so
Yeah.
to speak. Um, and I thought that was also nice too, just showing how, you know, there was something he hadn't even just of the modern technology that he hadn't experienced before that opened a door for him that was closed up until then. And I just thought that
Yep.
was a nice way of looking at, good and bad, anytime there's a technological advancement of magnitude, there's good and bad that comes with it. But I thought
Mhm.
it was a nice look at the good a lot of times, even if it's something more uh on the spiritual level than
Yeah.
necessarily the practical level.
Another thing too that happens really early on was and I feel like there's only two things could really spoil in this movie. One is the death of, well, I guess both of them I guess I can't really say it, but I feel like there's
Presume.
two moments, yeah, that could spoil in the film. But early on, there's a scene where he talks about how he worked on this railway, and then he's like, and then years later they forgot about it and they won't use it anymore. Now I don't know the terminology for trains, but the first railway was, I guess, for like a steam engine train, and then years later in his future, he's riding, I don't even know, like I guess a more modern train. He's able to see the
Yeah,
railway that he
more
built.
monitoring. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the thing that made me think
And
about the
also
movie
that they
too.
built a bridge, a roadway for cars, a
Yeah,
bridge
that too.
near the same spot.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's the movie made me think that because like you and I have obviously older parents, than us, and I don't know if you
Huge.
have the issue, but my
Sorry, mom.
parents.
Sorry, dad. I didn't know Jose was gonna say that.
Well, I don't know about you, but like my parents, so, like I sometimes have to show them basic stuff, like how to use a phone or something, like how to scan a QR code, and I always think to myself like, oh, I'm never gonna get to that point. I'm always trying to keep up with the times, but the movie, that's kind of the theme of the movie. Like you just become so disconnected because of old age and just get like lost in your own life that there's a point you just like don't really care about staying with the times. You just kind of care about more your day to day life, and you just do what you got to do
Yeah.
to get by. Um, yeah, there's definitely a point in the movie where like time just gets way ahead of him. I remember he goes to some city, I don't know what it is, but he just looks so out of place. And I think that do you remember this scene I'm referring to? He's like in a city, I don't know what city it is.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's Spokane.
yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, Spokane.
Yeah,
He lived. The movie takes place in Idaho, but I
that's
mean,
right.
it's
Yeah,
like right next to Washington,
yeah,
right? So the movie, and actually, most of the movie was filmed in Washington State, not Idaho. Uh,
interesting. Yeah,
yeah, and he goes into Spokane towards the end of the movie to kind of check out the city. And I can't remember if the movie says it's like the first time he's been in there or not, but
that sounds kind of right.
it seems like it certainly is, or at least he hasn't been there in a long time. So the
Yeah,
city is rather modern now. There's just a bunch of different things. He like witnesses astronauts up in space through a TV, which he'd never
yeah,
really seen before. And yeah, so
yeah.
I mean
It's
that's yeah, great look as well.
Yeah, it's fascinating because like we'll be there at some point. It's like hard
Yeah,
to believe, but like there'll be a point where you just see stuff and we just can't really accept it as truth. Or at least it challenges
it's too late. I
our
already can't
understanding of
accept
life. Yeah,
anything. You're
yeah, right.
probably an AI generation right now.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's a whole other thing. But yeah, tell me about it. I don't even know what's real anymore. Looking at videos of what's happening overseas and stuff. But yeah. Anyways, great movie. I am really excited you got to see it because I remember like I gave it a 7 if we're going to ratings. We can still talk about it here.
We do apologize for those technical difficulties, folks. We were talking about how technology is gonna, pass us by someday, and looks like it might already have done so.
Yeah, it's our second episode where technical difficulties happen, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But
might be true.
Yeah, we're
Just a couple
losing
of
it
boomers over
already.
here
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
record a podcast.
exactly. Okay. Well, we are back.
Um, we are
You were
back.
saying.
I was just saying I'm really happy you were able to check it out. Like I said, I went into it not really knowing what it was about, and in fact, I saw it before it was even nominated for an Oscar. So I just kind of went into it out of curiosity, and I left loving it. I knew it
Seven
was
of
at
10, but
Sundance.
loving it nonetheless.
Yeah, I think I might bump it up to an 8, quite honestly. After because now I just a lot of scenes are coming to my mind. Um, I'm not sure if you had a chance to, but I talked about Nick Cave, how fantastic musician. He finally gets recognized for this film in the music category. Not sure if you had a chance to listen to that song, but yeah,
I
fantastic
have
complimentary.
not.
It plays at
I
the very end of the film, but it's a very excellent compliment piece to the
again another brief environmental difficulty, not technical in this case. Jose was
gummit.
saying he loved it. He'll probably bump it up half star.
Yeah,
From
and
what
the
he
music
said.
is great too. Plays right
Yes.
at the start of the end credits, but great,
Yes,
great,
yeah,
great music.
Nick Cave, great song. Which funny thing I found out about that. I like to after I watch a movie for the first time, I like to kind of look at the production notes and stuff, and like
Hmm.
see what happened in the lead up to it. And I guess the song, the Nick Cave song, wasn't actually a part of the movie initially during its initial festival release. They added it after Netflix picked up the distribution rights
Oh,
for it.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
That makes
So
okay. Yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna
probably
say
got a
that
little
makes
extra money to throw
probably.
throw around.
Not a well-known musician, but he's pretty big for like certain music communities. But I mean, yeah, the great lyrics complements a lot of the movie. He talks about scenes that you actually see in the movie. But we're not here about we're not here to talk about the song, although it is great. Movie,
It's great. Yeah.
fantastic. Yeah,
The just to kind of put a capper on the film, um, it's not probably gonna win Best Picture, I don't think.
yeah. I was gonna bring it up
Uh,
earlier. It's
you
the
know,
quietest entry for sure.
yeah, it's the quietest entry, but it certainly deserves to be in the conversation. I think. If
Yeah.
for some reason it did win, I would not be upset at all. And it's probably of the nominees, it's probably my third favorite after Sentimental Value, Marty Supreme, and now Train Dreams. And
Okay.
I don't know, see that changing. So, any
I was
other
gonna say
thoughts on
it's
Train Dreams?
I was gonna say it's certainly better than without having the list in front of me. Way better than 3 films I could think about that are nominated for Best Picture. But not even considering the Oscars, it's a fantastic film in my opinion. Happy it got released. Happy I got to check it out, and I'm happy that movies like this exist. Just simple but effective.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
well said. A,
Uh,
a great
I
way, great example of a movie that has a lot to say without
Yep,
you know doing without being busy.
yeah. I don't think you've ever seen a movie of his, but for listeners, it's Terrence Malick with a little bit more dialogue. But that Terrence Malick being a filmmaker who has kind of the same style, but yeah, works
Yeah,
really great.
which the
Uh,
director explicitly refers to Terrence Malick as an inspiration for him.
yeah,
Yeah,
makes a lot of sense. Yeah, for sure.
so
Um, like I said, I gave it a 7 on Letterboxd, but might bump it up to an 8. I'm kind of going through the best pictures
I gave
again.
it a 9 of 10 because
Nice.
I'm not afraid of greatness, Jose.
And I'm not afraid of greatness either. Um, I don't know what it's gonna turn out to be on a rewatch because it is like a slow burn. That's something we didn't talk about, but again, the visuals are just so great that it keep me glued. So it's just kind of a matter of rewatching it for me and seeing
Yeah,
what my conclusion is for a rating.
for sure.
Yeah.
So, with that, I'll segue into it was definitely one of my favorite pictures of that came out last year. Definitely one of the top Oscar nominees, but excluding the actual official Best Picture nominees, was it one of your favorite films of the year? Period. What, in fact, before answering that question, let's hear
Mhm.
what were your favorite films? What were your top? I'm not gonna put a limit on like the number of films, but I'd say within 10 or less,
Yeah,
what
sure.
your favorite films were of the year, regardless of their nomination status.
Train Dreams was probably one of the biggest surprises. Top 10, I'm not sure, but we talked quite a bit, a handful of movies from last episode, but ones that come to mind that I enjoyed quite a bit were Weapons. I mean, that's a very big one that I went in not really anticipating it. The concept sounded great, but when I left the theater, I had no idea what I was in for, and it really kind of blew me out of the water. I never really seen a horror film done that way with multiple different storylines, tying it all together. There's the element of there's like a mystery element of like where it's going that just really captivates not just me, but for like an entire audience. I mean, my whole family loved it. Um, and if I could just throw one more out there, there's certainly more, and I'll get more into them, but I'll give you a chance to talk. Is one that we disagree on, I know for a fact, but it's Eddington. I can't name a movie that kind of challenged me
Huh.
so much. Um, I come to the conclusion that very much like the year 2020, where nothing was ever certain. It was a very confusing time, and I didn't really know what to make of that year, or I guess that period in our history. I felt the same with Eddington. I think that was kind of purposeful. I kind of came to that conclusion that that's what the movie was trying to be. It was trying to be challenging, trying to be confusing, not really know what to make of the times. So that's another one that stood out to me. Not saying it's my favorite, but certainly a highlight for me that I'm gonna always remember. Looking back in 2025, that's a movie that's gonna stick with me.
Yeah, I think I would like. I mean, I won't go into like a full talk again about Eddington, but I think that movie I would like it a lot more, except for the ending, or
Yeah,
the final act, really the climax. That just I feel like it was a jump the shark moment, but it is what it is. I'm not
it,
gonna.
it, it goes bonkers for sure.
Yeah, it just takes from something that is real to a point, but then just amps it up to 11.
Yeah.
Like yeah, it's crazy. Um, yeah. So any anyway, uh, that was so you said weapons. I agree, weapons is up there for sure. I still had a decent chunk of the nominations on there. So Train Dreams, we obviously talked about. Frankenstein was the other one that was one of my faves.
Mhm.
Uh, so was Marty Supreme. Sentimental Value. Those are all good. What was probably my favorite film of the year, just because I'm mostly just impressed he was able to pull it off given the restrictions he had, and
Mhm.
kind of honestly hits a little bit different now to given current events, but
Yeah.
uh, it
I've
was
been thinking
just an
about that.
accident. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was just an accident. Phenomenal film. Surprised it did not get nominated for Best Picture. It is nominated for Best Foreign Picture, but you know that
Yeah.
is what it is. So
I'm
that was
wondering
one of
if
my favorites for sure.
without getting too political, I wonder if the current state of affairs is going to maybe kind of sway people's opinions and maybe change their votes and making this the winner for best foreign film, even though it's not nominated for best picture. We'll see. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I don't know because I feel like I don't know. Yeah, we
We
won't
won't have
go
to
into
get into that. Yeah.
politics. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
If it wins, I would not be upset, no matter what the reasoning is.
Mhm.
So, what else? I got one more on there. Any other favorite films that weren't nominated on your end?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. Like I said, I'm doing this on my phone, so I can't look at Letterboxd. But another highlight that really stood out was Superman. James Gunn.
Yeah.
Yeah, not much of a as you know, I'm not much of a superhero guy. Like I used to be. I feel like a lot of them have fallen off. That's gonna be DC, Marvel, and everything in between. But Superman, I feel like James Gunn really proved himself that just his style lends itself to making this genre is just so fantastic. Everything he's touched with Guardians, Suicide Squad, and now Superman. I think he is the best at doing live action comics. I think he understands what comic books are, and that's campy. They're silly. It's men in colorful costumes fighting crime and evil, and he just knows how to capitalize off that and just make an entertaining movie.
Yeah.
I think you said it's one of the best superhero movies you've seen as well. Um,
Well,
and
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely one of the best comic book based films for sure.
mhm,
You know,
um,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, just coming off, not that long ago, but like the Snyderverse, which I like the extended cut of Justice League, but when I saw Crypto and like all the side characters, I'm like, how is James gonna make this work? And he pulls it off. I thought it was pretty great.
I agree. I think I didn't count that as one of my favorite films because I have a strict, if it counts as some of the actual best pictures, which I should clarify, not that Superman wasn't one of my favorite films. I'm purely judging it on what I view as the craft, and so I limit my actual best pictures for me personally to 9 of 10s or above.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
you know,
Okay.
but I think that's subjective. I think your
Mm,
favorites, should get a shout out, and
yeah.
I think Superman is worthy of that. And honestly, my enjoyment level of Superman was a 10 of 10.
Mm,
If the certain special effects at times were maybe a little bit better, maybe it would be even higher,
okay.
But it's truly it truly is a fun film, like you said.
For me, I'm kind of rating off like, in 10 years when I look back on the year 2025, what movies are going to come out to me. They're probably not 9 out of 10, but, I'm going to remember Superman. I'll remember Eddington. I'll remember
Sure. Yeah.
Weapons. That's how
Good
I'm
point.
going to,
It's a good point.
yeah, just highlights.
My On the same note, my last favorite film that wasn't nominated was Wake Up Dead Man, which I know you
Mm,
probably have a different opinion on that,
mhm.
but that really, especially for being so Wake Up Dead Man, obviously the third Knives Out, especially for being I mean it's a quasi trilogy, but the third film in the franchise, and I think the best one. First off, just really took me by surprise in that sense. It's not often the third movie in a series is the best one.
Mhm.
But also just the script, its handling of its themes. It also had a good mystery too.
Yeah.
But the handling of its themes around faith and blind belief was
Mhm.
really excellently handled. I think one of the best I've really seen in any picture, honestly, with a lot of it. So that one kind of blew me away. I've seen that now twice.
Mm,
The final sequence kind of moves me quite a bit. Uh, won't get into too much spoilers, but it involves a character's death and kind of their acceptance of things they've done. So yeah,
yeah.
that I was
Uh,
a little disappointed. I didn't think it was going to get nominated for Best Picture, but I was a little disappointed it didn't get nominated for Best Original Screenplay, at
yeah.
least. You know,
Uh, it's so silly. If you remember, Glass Onion was nominated for Best Adapted. Um,
yeah,
this
not
me. This just
anywhere on the same level, in my opinion.
I was gonna say, if I were if based off their theory, the Academy, this would have been what adapted screenplay, which is so stupid. Just because
Yeah,
it's a sequel, which is such a dumb thing. But
yeah.
anyways, I agree. There was some great moments. I remember the scene where is it Connor? What's his name? The actor's name, the protagonist, aside from Daniel Craig.
Oh, Josh O'Connor.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah,
Josh O'Connor and Daniel Craig when they first meet, they kind of have a little back and forth about their not even belief of religion, but like their idea of religion. And
yeah,
it's cool because Daniel Craig provides this like very pessimistic view on religion, and presumably on the outside you see like the clouds are covering the sun, so the whole church goes dark. And then you said Josh O'Connor, is that his name? He provides
yeah,
his like clarification on why maybe the Bible not be like entirely nonfiction, but like, it's a reminder how we should live life, and then the whole church lightens up again. There's the cool moments like that. Is it on the nose? Yeah, but it does handle, as you said, kind of like the idea of like religion. It handles it
Yeah.
very, very well. Yeah,
Well,
like
those
tastefully.
conversations can be on the nose, and that's what I liked about it. It was very felt very respectful of like both sides of the argument, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, yeah, and
That's
giving good points on
mm,
both sides, So,
yeah. Like I said, done handled tastefully for sure.
mhm.
Um, if I could throw in a few more out there, I don't know. You tell me when you're ready to end the conversation. I could go for a few more, but
No, I mean, yeah. Tell me if you got more. If you got
yeah.
more films. I'll
As I
probably
said,
do a final. I mean, I can't think of any others that like stick out to me that I like
mm,
wish had gone like some actual awards love.
yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. Tell me.
Like I said, we talked a few of them. Begonia I enjoyed quite a bit.
Yeah,
Sentimental Value I thought was really challenging, but I loved it. Not overwhelmingly challenging, but like it made me kind of like want to watch again so I could understand it more. One Battle After Another might be my favorite. One that we haven't really talked about is No Other Choice, but the most
yeah.
profound movie I've seen this year was Zootopia 2. Uh,
Absolutely.
yeah. um, no, that was a pleasant surprise. Disney has not really made a great film in years, in my opinion. They've really fallen off. I feel like they're
In
creatively
years.
bankrupt. I'm trying to think what's the last great thing I've seen from them. I don't know. I think they really fell off. But Zootopia 2 was like a pleasant surprise. I thought it was very cute. I love the story. Speaking of animals, my dog is barking right now. I could tell he likes it too, Zootopia. I went into it just because it was nominated for Best Animated, so I felt like I saw it out of reluctance, but I saw it reluctantly.
He was forced to. That's gonna be me with K-pop Demon Hunters this week.
But I thought it was great. I really liked it. I thought it was
Yeah.
handled really well. I love the world building. It kind of teased that birds are coming into the next movie, so I'm excited for that.
Random
Yes,
segue, a random side note to that is it's kind of funny because I think Zootopia 2 does handles something better that another Disney Pixar movie does worse from a few years ago. Do you know which movie I'm talking about?
yeah, Elemental.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm
Isn't it
saying. That was a
crazy? Like, yeah, like Zootopia 2 handles I mean, basically it's, it's talking about, prejudice,
yeah, for sure.
and, a fairly explicit allegory to racism. And Zootopia 2 handles it like so much better than Elemental, which is like so clunky with its
Yeah.
handling
No,
subject.
for sure, for
So,
sure.
yeah.
And even if you don't look in too much into that, if you don't look like if you look at the film at a very surface level, which that it's Disney, it's kind of meant to be. The characters are great. The story is great. I thought it was just kind of great overall.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
and
And really funny.
yeah, for sure. I have to say this. I do have 6% left on my phone, so you want to like maybe you talk about one more and then
Jose's about to die. He's about to be gone forever. No, I think yeah, just kind of put a bow on it. Those were the favorite films, the ones I considered my favorite, the best of the bunch. Superman definitely enjoyment level was up there, so I'm glad you brought that up because it came out I feel like so long ago.
yeah,
It's
yeah, for real.
almost lost it's just not in my brain anymore. But it was good, and I really had fun with that. So glad you brought it up. And hey, now we're already starting the first quarter of the year. We're already
That's
starting
true.
to review movies that we think might be the best come the end of the year. So
Yeah,
a
no,
lot of
for sure,
fun movies in the mix coming soon. And
dude.
next, we're gonna leave off with this. We're gonna have a full live Oscar watch through special recording.
No,
Actually,
are
not.
we?
No, we're not. But we will have a We will have a reaction episode
Yeah,
in the coming days after the Oscars to go over all the things we think they got wrong and hopefully cover something as exciting as Will Smith slapping
Yep.
Chris Rock.
Damn
But
it. You took exactly what I was gonna say. But yeah, we need
yeah,
something like that to happen. Otherwise, it'll probably
exactly.
be a
Yeah.
boring
Or
episode.
at the very least, give us a mix up like La La Land and Moonlight. At the very
Yeah.
least, give us something like that. It's what the people want. So
Or give us a mixture of both. They call out the wrong best picture, and then there's a full fist fight.
ooh, that would be that might be not topped if something like that happened where the actual Oscar honorees were fighting.
Oh my
That would
god,
be amazing. Yeah.
that'd be great.
All right, signing off.
Signing off.
Morning Pictures. Till next time. This is your host Sam Karpinski and your co-host,
Jose Mendoza.
the one and only. And he's not
Tie it
done.
back.
That's all, folks.